This is my trade review for Friday, May 5th. First up here is GE. GE did not trigger above my level, so no trade there. I will keep it on watch for follow through off of this inside candle here. Could potentially have a large move after this ignited bar, indecision, and now another indecision candle. So I'll be watching that pretty closely. Next up, Kimco Realty. Kimco, took it off my watch early in the morning. It's not something that moves a whole lot, so there was no interest in it. For that reason, there's no trades taken. Next up here, GGP, General Growth Properties, actually was a small loser here. Opened up, pushed a little bit higher, triggered me in, and held my stop just below what ended up being a consolidation level here. My stop was originally down here, however, this spike right here told me there was not as much strength at this support, so I went ahead and kept an eye out for any kind of further weakness, and sure enough, it came in and trailed me out for a little bit of a loss. Not too bad there. Only loser for the day. Next up here, I'm going to go through the winning trades. First one is Alcoa AA. Triggered me in 5 minutes after, the second 5-minute candle here. Gapped up, no gap and go type of setup. No follow through on that sell off, and got in right as it broke above my support level that I was watching here. Most of my trades I would have trailed out right here. I was a little bit sloppy with this one, but it worked out for the best. As you can see, it came back down, tested the trend line one more time, consolidated and pushed up higher. Got me out right around my target. What I was looking for on the daily chart was this 31, I think it was 75-ish, somewhere around there. Had the wick here, so I knew it had to be somewhat close to there. Once it came back up, went ahead and took my profit. Left a little bit on the table, but that's okay. Next up here is BRX. BRX is one of these cheap stocks that I'm probably not going to trade much more. Did trigger me in off of the open here. Took a small loss once I saw this topping candle here. Second entry was once it broke down below my level and came back above. It was a pretty good idea. I mean, it's not a bad trade there. It's just these stocks that are cheap don't move a whole lot. So ended up working out fairly well. Put it in a double top up here, and once it started breaking down, I knew it was time to get out. Next up was CBS. CBS gave a gap and go type of entry, 5 cents above the open. Had to switch to the 2-minute chart on this gap and go type of setup. And once I saw this big indecision candle here, even though it was green, I wanted to put my stop loss at least above my entry. Ended up taking a little bit of a gain here, but if I had not, and I would have just kept my stop down here, it would have been quite a bit more of a loss than I really would have wanted. So overall, decent management there, decent trade. Next up is Disney. Disney gave me 2 entries as well, and the first one was the gap and go type of setup, 5 cents above the open. Trailed out once it put in this topping pattern right here, and just kind of waited. Put in a double bottom. The second part of the double bottom was what I would call a pipe bottom. Basically a big move down followed by that almost same exact move back up. Tells me that the strength on that initial move was not there anymore and it's likely to reverse. So jumped in, consolidated for a while until a little bit after, well, late lunchtime roughly. And my target was now the high of this opening range, came up, and once it touched it, I usually like to wait and see for a confirmation that there is resistance there, which it did break down, and took my profits. Left a little bit on the table here, as you can see, but overall it's a decent trade. Another hammer form, so I will watch it again for Monday. Next up, IYR is the real estate ETF, a gap and go type of setup here, 5 cents above the open. Held through this pullback and all this choppiness all day, and finally took a profit off towards the end of the day. Next up here is PGR. PGR did not come back down to my support that I had labeled down here, but it put in a nice bottoming morning star type of pattern and broke back above the level that I was watching. So I went ahead, took a shot, held my stop below here, which was not too far away from my entry. Just required some patience here. The move above the opening range here told me there was going to be strength there. Even on any pullback, I could likely expect it to possibly climb up higher. Once it did, put in a top and had a good amount of volume come in right here, which trailed me out. Sbux was the final trade here. Opened up, pushed up a little bit higher, didn't want to chase up there. My plan was to wait for a pullback to here. Came back to exactly the level that I was watching, which is this 8-period exponential moving average. Worked out beautifully. Good volume there, a couple of spikes in the volume you can see down here to confirm that there was support. Jumped in and rode the wave all the way up to almost the highs of the day. Didn't quite get all the way up there and trailed out once it looked like it was going to actually roll over completely. Overall, 7 wins, 1 loser, and 2 no triggers.